Brian, I think, has done a great job since his time here at Ohio. He's a guy that wears many hats. He's our recruiting coordinator. He's our tight ends coach. He's our special teams coordinator. So a lot of assignments there that take a lot of organization, and he's been great at everything we've asked him to do. I think Brian, our coaches, really all the support staff, president who came over and spoke to our recruits many times, our AD, our campus, and the education players can receive here all add up to us, I think, being able to recruit high caliber players and first class players. And so I think this class is filled with that. I really like the athleticism of the class. I like the academic end of the class. There is no one that we've signed that we are waiting to see if they qualify or what their test score might be. So we had one recruiting weekend where we had 12 of our guys in, and 8 of those guys had well above a 3.0 average, and so we feel good about that, you know. And it's great to have guys be very academic, but you also want to make sure they're football players, and I think we were able to combine that. 25 guys that we have listed here for you. Um, 4 of the guys are priority walk-on guys, so they are positioned in here. There are 5 guys that are in here that came early, so they're already here on campus, but they are part of this signing, or not part of the signing actually, but part of this class. And so I think as you look through it, we addressed the needs that we needed to address. I don't think you can ever get enough big guys in your program, and so we really worked hard to find guys in the offensive and defensive line. The thing I like about the guys that are there, you know, 5 offensive linemen, 6 counting our one priority offensive lineman that's with the group, 5 defensive linemen. They are ready to go. They are not guys that we have to build strength with, that we have to have a major development program before they can step on the field. These guys are ready to step on the field and play football. Now, there's an awful lot that goes into a freshman playing football for you above strength and size, but these guys have the ability to help right away. We'll see how many actually do that, but everybody's going to get a chance. I think in the skill area, we did recruit guys with really good speed, and I think that's critical in the receiver area. A lot of speed in the recruits, really talented guys. Corners and safeties, you know, that was an immediate need for us. I think we recruited properly there. So we're going to have guys that are going to be able to step in. We did have 2 guys that are graduate transfers in this group. One will be a safety corner combination type player. He's a 5th-year player, and he's a guy that we recruited out of high school. Obviously didn't get him, but he can hopefully fill a bill at either corner or safety for us. And the other young man that's joining us is another graduate transfer that is in the defensive line. He'll be a nose guard for us, and so we'll be able to get immediate help from those 2 guys. Any questions of me or Brian? Would be glad to take them for you.
To ask you about, I know you got just 25 new guys in, but a position you didn't address with this recruiting class, quarterback. You're going to lose 2 next year no matter what. I don't want to say it's a failure, but how pressing of a concern was it to get one in this class?
Yeah.
And how much pressure does that mean for the 17 class to get 1 or 2 arms in?
Yeah. Well, we have three guys that will not be graduating at the position. We have more guys at the quarterback position than most teams do. And you can get to the point where you have so many guys that you're not developing the guys that you have in the system as well as maybe you can. And it's not that we didn't try, though. You know, I mean, we have worked at trying to identify the really top quarterbacks. We are not going to bring into the system a quarterback that is not at a tremendously high level, and so we did not get one of those. We do feel that we have a shot at getting a quarterback in the system that is looking at transferring. If he does, we believe he'll transfer here. We like everything we know about him, and we've had him in camp. We've seen him on high school film, and so we'll see how that plays out. You know, one thing about the quarterback position, and I'll just say this, you always start and build around your quarterback, you know, and if you have a guy that's, you know, going to be special at being a one-back quarterback where he's now your second runner and so forth, you can build, obviously, an offense around that. If you don't have a guy there that is going to necessarily be that second running back for you, if you look at our program right now, I think we've got more quality running backs than maybe I've been around. And so that's going to fit into what we're all about next year also. You know, we may not have to put all that pressure on the quarterback to be special in every area. But we'll see. That's what spring ball's all about. But, you know, you would like to get A.J. on the field. You know how he competes. You know, you want him on the field. You want Dorian Brown on the field. You want Malik Arns on the field. You want Poppy White on the field. So, you know, how do you get all those guys on the field? You do it by maybe some different formations. And so we're looking at a lot of things for spring ball.
Ryan, is it more difficult or easier now to stitch together a signing class given all the avenues, whether it's junior college, whether it's grad student transfers, it's the ability to brace your guys, it's the ability to get guys in early. Is it easier, or is it harder to find what you want in a recruiting class nowadays with all the options available?
Yeah, I feel like we've always built a good base on high school kids. And junior college-wise, they got to work harder now than ever to be eligible coming out of the junior college. Graduate transfers, you're always looking for those guys because they're mature and they're ready to go. But we always start at the high school level, and through that, you build around it.
You can use those other avenues to address that
Immediate needs, yes.
There's Solich call them priority walk-ons. That's we kind of, I think the general term is preferred walk-ons. There's 4 of them in this class, just so I know who they are and make sure we've got Aiden O'Neill, Nick Sink. There's 2 more here. The little wide receiver,
Brian Long
Brian Long,
and Robbie Fussman.
There's the 4.
Correct.
And they would arrive at the start of fall camp or in
Yes.
September.
Fall camp.
No running backs. Do we read into that you guys like what you saw last fall out of C.J. Hilliard when he came in as a transfer?
Well,
Plus what you mentioned,
yeah.
the other guys you already got.
right. We just don't feel like it was a priority for us in this recruiting class. We're going to have good running backs, really good running backs for a period of time. There were more needs. You know, it just seems like, and we addressed those with all the scholarships that we handed out in the offensive and defensive line. If you look at, you know, injuries in college football, those guys up front are always banging. Those guys are the ones that can get the heavy shoulder injuries. A lot of them do come with hip injuries, groin injuries. and sometimes concussions, you know, and because they're always knocking. And you cannot have enough of those guys in your system. So we wanted to make sure that, that we brought not only talented guys in, but guys that are going to be ready to help us early by size and strength. And then we went from there, you know, and obviously we looked at our, we want to bring in more speed at receiver, you know. We want speed receivers. We needed to fill the cornerback and safety slot. So the linebacker, you know, we got linebackers across the board there that fit the slots that we need to fit, and they fit what we're all about, speed and toughness, and smart. And so we felt we fit the need really well, obviously there. That pretty much covers everybody. We also got a tight end that we like. He's you know, he's not only a guy that is physical and will block you, but he's an excellent down the field receiving tight end. And sometimes that's hard to find. You can find the guys that can cross the shallow crosses and dump the ball to him and run the hitches, but getting the guy that can do something for you down the field is not sometimes all that easy.
Coach, you lose some talented guys on the defensive end to graduation this year. What are you expecting out of some of these young guys, especially with like the defensive back positions with some of the new guys you're bringing in?
Mm-hmm. Well, we expect them to compete right away. You know, I do like the group of guys that we have currently on our roster that are somewhat younger players. There's a lot of talent there. They're going to have to fill a need, and then we're going to have to certainly look at some of those younger guys to step up and supply us some depth.
If you had a class where, and you talk about the balance of it, but from the trenches standpoint, guys of stature, you know, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5",
Mm-hmm.
that are D1 ready at the start of things. Have you had a class that has had those kind of physical specs in the trenches before?
Yeah, I don't think during my time here that we've had the numbers and the guys that look like these guys and are physically as ready to go, you know. And this, I think, in the long run, when it plays out with these young guys, it's going to be, you know, a line that's it's going to be somewhat special. You know, you look at Eric Kerman and Coach Vince Collada and those guys with that offensive line. I could name the rest of them, but you look at them, and they're that was a special line for us, you know. And these guys that are coming in certainly have that ability.
You mentioned the academics of this group. Was that a point of emphasis after having a couple guys not make it through clearinghouse last year? Is that something you guys tried to dial a little bit more into?
I'll answer. You can certainly jump in on this one,
Yeah.
Brian. But yes, you know, our school, I think, demands that a little bit, and you know, we want to try to obviously recruit athletes to win our conference, to be working towards getting in the top 25, to really take the program up another notch, and so you want athletics. But you know, in my course of time as a coach, you know, we have a saying that smart guys get better, and I think, you know, that's true. You see them progress a little quicker sometimes. They get on the field a little sooner. Maybe don't make as many mistakes. And you know, Stanford does a great job of winning football games with the guys that they're able to attract. Obviously, we're not Stanford, but we're, you know, in some ways, would like to pattern ourselves in that regard as far as really bright football players and really good football players.
Brian, how did the relationship with Tom Stroger come about? Was he a guy that you guys recruited? It seemed like everyone recruited him.
Out of high school, yeah, he was a national recruit out of high school, and we got to know him then, and really very similar to Keith Heitzman, extra year, and graduated. He'll finish there in the spring, so he'll be here with us in the summer.
The relationship with Keith helped pave the way for this thing with Tom Strobel? Did one lead into the other, I guess, so to speak?
A little bit, you know, I don't think it was everything, but yeah, I think it didn't hurt. In Keith's time at Michigan, he only played tight end there for 2 years. The rest of it was on the defensive line, so him and Tom were pretty close.
You got a couple of guys from bigger name schools. You got Strobel from Michigan and Hopkins from Louisville. Do these bigger name these athletes from bigger name schools? Do the players almost look up to them? You know, they got into like a bigger school. Does that kind of create like a leadership position amongst the team or anything like that?
I think it may give them an edge on being a leader for your football team, but certainly when they show up, they still have to earn that. And but they're coming from excellent schools. Their background is very, very solid, very, very, very good, and so obviously they're respected for what they've accomplished and hopefully what they'll accomplish here.
I'm sure a lot of fans watching the stream of this look at, the number of kids that you get from the state of Ohio. We talked about it in the interview, but in this avenue, how have you been able to win some of those battles where you might not have in the early part of your tenure here?
Mm-hmm.
How have you guys been able to really protect this state and get some really good athletes from the state to come here?
Well, as far as national TV has been huge, even in the state. The players know if they're on TV or not, and obviously our conference is a lot. So that's a good start. We've won enough football games. We've been to enough bowl games that I think we're recognized around the country as being a very good football program. Obviously, our university is recognized as being a great academic institution. Those two things usually fit, and one with parents more, and maybe one with the player a little more. But they do come together, and they do fit. And so I think it's always been true. If we get them down here, we have the ability to recruit them. They will seriously consider us, and so the idea is to get them here, and obviously being showcased on TV enough, and all of a sudden winning enough games, they're willing to come down and take a look.
Brian, it seems like you guys got a lot of good verbals during the summer that held up throughout the entire process. What kind of factor do the remote camps, how have they factored into securing those commits and I guess building relationships that stood throughout the entire cycle?
Yeah, the process starts early now. Throughout the camps, it is big for us to see those kids do our drills and get a chance to get around our staff. On top of that, there's other camps where we see those guys. And really, these kids, like Coach said, academically, it was a good fit for them. And when they made the decision, really, in June, this class was pretty much done. And it was a good fit, and I think that's why we had success with holding on to them.
One guy who didn't crop up on my radar until late, and I'm sure he was on yours much sooner, Sean Mustin Sherman from
Mhm.
California. Again, he's a little bit of a ghost when you look on the internet. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but how did you guys find him, and what kinds of things is he just a good fit for a guy that doesn't have a big profile?
Yeah, that goes back to Coach Williams. He's a California guy, West Coast guy, and he's got a lot of connections out there. When you keep digging, when you need something, he does a good job of finding it.
You're going to like his highlight tape.
I saw like a minute and a half of it. Quick kid.
Yeah,
That was,
quick, strong, plays hard throughout the play. Yeah.
Coach Weedman is listed as a kicker punter. Do you see him contributing to the special team team his freshman year?
Yeah, Aiden's got a shot, and just like any other position, you want competition, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to come in and compete, and we're going to have some depth there. So we're losing Mitch and Josiah and bringing him in, and that'll free up a spot, and he's a dual kid. He can do both.
So you see him kicking and punting, there's not a couple.
Correct. Yeah. If you watch his film, and he'll probably tell you he likes kicking more than punting, but he's talented at both.
You got some tweeners among your defensive line recruits. Is it just a process of getting them in and then seeing where they pan size says maybe he's an outside back or a DN. You got a
Mhm.
couple of those strong side end types that
Mhm.
you can in theory see him bulk up and play tackles.
Mhm.
Do you really try to worry about where a guy fits right off the bat, or is it more of a gut feel?
Yeah.
You like this guy on film, let's get him in and see what
Yeah,
he fits like?
you know, they can run. Those guys you're talking about can run, and they are tough, tough guys now. And so you know they're going to fit. Just where, you know, what their best spot is right now may not be their best spot a year or two down the road, because they just may grow that much. You know, some of those guys that you're talking about, kind of the in-between guys, they could maybe go as an outside back or a defensive end, or they're going to grow into a three-technique tackle. You know, that all remains to be seen. But they're athletes, they're football players, they're tough kids, and they play hard all the time. And so obviously, those guys you want as many of those guys as you can get on your football team.
You see the Motley brothers on here. Did you go after one specifically and the other one happened to pop up, or did you guys go both of them at the same time, or how did that play out?
We went after both right from the beginning. Number one, we really liked them on film, and obviously camps enter into it, but they will strike you now. You know, they're going to have to put on some weight yet. They're going to have to get a little bit bigger, but they will come up and strike you, and they can run, and they're track guys, and so, you know, that seemed to make sense to us.